How's it going, everybody? It's Riley's Red Zone, and in today's video, we're going to be predicting every Week 18 NFL game. It's the last week of the season, and I have 5 returning guest pickers for this week. So you're going to get a large variety of opinions, and you'll get to see what the consensuses are. And so I do want to start the video saying that as the time of this recording, I'm very thankful that Damar Hamlin has been recovering since the tragedy on Monday night. We do need to continue the prayers, as you know, we need to make sure he recovers fully. But we can't I can't believe the medical staff and everyone else involved there to save Damar's life is truly impressive. And luckily, at the time of this recording, it seems he is actually progressing very, very well. And for that reason, it allows us to continue making these picks, as earlier in the week it was hard to think about anything else that was going on. It hit the entire community hard. So I think that we're very thankful that he is in the position right now where he has a chance to get somewhat back to normal. And so because of that, we are able to continue these picks today, but we need to continue to keep the Hamlins in our thought, both him, Damar, and his family. So with that being said, we're going to continue this week, but I want to start the video saying that is very important. This is my first video since that tragedy occurred. So now we are going to talk about the games on the schedule this week, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. You will notice now you can see who is making a return this week to make the picks. We have Matthew, Charlie, Max, Andrew, and Nick returning. Nick is currently at the top of the leaderboard for the guest pickings category. He went 12-2 in week 13. I will say ahead of time, he was like, I want week 13, and it worked for him. But I'm going to say that this week, I have the chart of every pick made. There's a lot of what, NFL Network calls lone wolf picks. And I think because of that, if things go the right way, we might have some people kind of rise up. We have some of the top people from this year's leaderboard. We have a few of the top thus far, but this is a great week to potentially get some bounce back here. So these are the people that were able to return this week, which is awesome. But starting with that Chiefs-Raiders games, we are all on one side here. We are all taking the Chiefs. Nobody taking the Raiders. I think that the Raiders, Stidham actually put up a good performance last week, and they made it really close with the Niners. But I don't know. I don't know if they can continue to play like the Chiefs are potentially. I know now there's the whole coin flip and neutral field situation, but like they are kind of still like the 1 seed. So in a way, I think that they are still just one of the top dominant teams right now. I think they're going to play all their starters today, and even if they didn't, I would have confidence in them. We all do. In this situation, nobody taking the underdog here. Just kind of a proven team versus a team that we're still a little questioning about. We'll see how the Raiders go into next season. But for this game, we're all going with the Chiefs. But that is not the case in the next game, where we do have a lone wolf here. We have an all-alone pick. Charlie is going with the Tennessee Titans, who are the underdog here, and the rest of us are going with the Jaguars. Now, this is the tale of 2 teams going opposite directions, I must say right now. The Jaguars have been on a huge momentum streak. Their offense is performing very, very well. Trevor Lawrence is taking that step up. I like their play calling, what they're doing offensively. Performing really, really well as of late. Now, the Titans have been slowing down. They've, lost quite a bit in a row. I believe I saw they're very poor against teams above 500, but they still have a chance to break that streak. I would say like they weren't really necessarily trying. They didn't really care about last week, so that wasn't really a performance that's going to affect anything of what they are. They are going to go with Josh Dobbs, though, this week. And so I think he's a valid quarterback, but I don't think they're going to maybe, in my opinion, lift them up to beat the Jaguars. Now, it does seem like Derrick Henry is healthy, which is a definite plus for them. But I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I think they've just had more momentum recently. But if the Titans could break the streak, though. And so Charlie's going to go with that pick there. That is an interesting. That could potentially. I think this will be maybe the closest of all the games that we have kind of a lone wolf in. So I could see this happening because all it takes is this one game, and then the Titans get back on a roll again. So that's what's happening there. We have quite a bit of us on the Jaguar side and one of us on the Titans. And that's similar to our next game, where almost all of us are on the Bucs, which, okay, this I have to say, I normally look at the spreads to see who's the underdogs. I found conflicting results. I should say this, I've never seen the Bucs as the favorite this week. I have recently seen it as like a coin flip pick'em game. But for that reason, earlier in the week, it for sure was Bucs were the underdogs. So I'm going to put them as that. But this is really, at least according to the spread, apparently a basically even game. And Max is going to go the direction of the Falcons. This does have trap game written over it, because the Bucs do have the playoffs clinched. They maybe don't have as much to play for. But I'm going to say I think Brady's going to want him above 500 season personally. I think that offensively they have been performing better as of late. Still not maybe what we've seen at their max, but last week was very impressive with how they were able to move the ball down the field to Mike Evans from Brady. So I'm going to go with the Bucs there. We also have the Falcons here as Max takes them. They're going with Ritter now at QB. They have some weapons offensively, specifically in the backfield, like Tyler Algier has had a pretty good season. And Cordell Patterson is still there also. So they have a lot of guys up on the offense that could potentially offer a spark here. So it might actually come down to what defense can make a stand first, because the Bucs have a really good offense, and the Falcons at times I think could be. So I think it's going to be whatever defense can kind of perform better and make that game-changing stop. So as of right now, we're all going with the Bucs except for Max, so that could be one for him to get back up in the leaderboard. And here we have another lone wolf as we all go with the Bills except for Andrew, who goes with the Patriots. And this could be a very close game. The Patriots are considered the underdogs. Bills obviously having to recover from what happened this week. I personally think they're going to light it up offensively. I think Diggsy is going to have a really, really good game, and Josh Allen is going to be. I think that if we're being honest, the team could play either one of two ways. Either they will still be struck by what unfortunately happened to their teammate. I don't know how I would move on very easily. Or maybe this somehow sparks, a sense of community in them. I think they're either going to play one of their best games or worst games of this year due to the circumstances, to be realistic. But I'm going to say they go out and light up the scoreboard. I believe that once again, the 1 seed doesn't matter necessarily as much, except actually, I think if Buffalo gets the 1 seed, it might be all through Buffalo. If I can think correctly, I think it's more the other way. So I think that there's a chance here that they could still get the 1 seed. So I think that they're going to play their starters and go all out. So I'm going with the Patriots. So are a lot of others. Andrew does go with the Bills. Andrew goes with the Patriots there. We'll see what happens in this game. I think this will be a close one between two division rivals. So that is what's happening there. Now this one, as a Vikings fan, I've seen the Vikings play some trap games. I think that this has trap game written all over it until it was Fields being ruled out. I'd say if Justin Fields plays this game, I might go with the Bears. But because of Justin Fields being out, I don't think Nathan Peterman's going to elevate this team to a win. They also honestly might be fighting for that number 1 draft pick. You'll see later, Texans might win their game. There's a chance the Bears, with a franchise quarterback, could get the number 1 pick and surround him probably with a solid defender. So far, it seems like maybe it's going to be Will Anderson or Jalen Carter in the draft. But we're all going with the Vikings, which feels a little bit dangerous. This maybe means that this could be a trap game. But I think that as of this point, there just are more reasons to pick the Vikings than there are the Bears. So we're all going that direction. Nobody taking the underdog. And so let's see how they do, because they performed obviously poorly last week against the Packers, but they might be able to bounce back. Now, this one, probably I would say my closest almost upset pick. I have one every week, it seems. This is, for me, this week's almost upset. Is I almost picked the Ravens. The only reason I'm not is I'm going to use the theory of the split the division games. I believe I used it a little bit last week, and actually I had one of my best weeks of picking last week. I ended up going 12-3, and so I think that this game has. I'll tell you this: if Lamar was playing, I would probably be all over picking the Ravens. Tyler Huntley is, first of all, I like Tyler Huntley. I think he has potential. I liked him coming out of Utah a few years ago. But being real, they haven't performed as well as of late. And it seems as though even himself is going to be banged up a little bit, but he is likely going to play, it seems. But for that reason, I'm going to go with the Bengals. This is another one where the Ravens won the first time, so I'm going to go with the Bengals to split the series. But this does, I'd say, is my least confident pick this week. I'd say that my almost upset. I have kind of a feeling for the Ravens, but just looking at it, I don't know if Tyler Huntley's going to be able to move the ball enough. But like, maybe that happens this week. So most of us going with the Bengals there, but there is some potential for the Ravens to potentially pull off an upset here. Now, the Texans and the Colts. This is interesting. Almost a unanimous upset pick. According to what I've seen, the Colts are still favored, even though it obviously, looking at what we're all thinking, it seems like that would not be the consensus. We're almost all going with the Texans. Charlie is going with the Colts, but this will be interesting. We're mostly going with the Texans here, who once again are in number one pick potential, but if they win this and the Bears lose, they'll drop down to 2. Which, here's the thing with the Texans: unless the Bears trade out of that pick, which honestly maybe they do, but like, the Bears would not take a QB. So even if the Texans fall to 2, I think they'll go with either Bryce Young or Stroud if he declares at this point. But with that being said, I think that Lovie Smith's going to want that team to play for something. And so I'm going to go with the Texans. A lot of us are here. One of those, just the Texans actually been doing a little bit better recently. And I think they have enough offensively to maybe move the ball now. Just enough to potentially get a win. And the Colts just have been on a losing streak. But this is another one where maybe Jeff Saturday's like, let's at least probably close my tenure out as the coach with a win. That could happen too. I mean, that is certainly possible in this game. So I think this could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Texans. A lot of us are, but Charlie with another lone wolf. I think that's his second or third thus far in the video. I think that's his second. We've had quite a bit, though, including another one here. Jets, Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Dolphins using, once again, my split division theory. I will maybe do some research after this week to really see like how many percentages of the. So you got to think like each team, there's 3, and so that's, it's probably like almost 100 games or matchups, I should say. I think I would like to research what the odds are of basically the games being split between the division. So that I might research a bit. But right now I'm actually vibing with that theory. And so I'm going to go with the Dolphins because the Jets won the first time, big time. Also, there's a feeling, though. I can totally see Matthew's pick here. I almost went with the Jets. There is just a feeling with it. Now, I just don't know if Joe Flacco is going to get... He's performed actually decent this year, but I think that the Dolphins, even though with their massive losing streak, same with the Jets, I think they have the potential to bounce back this week. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins just to get into the playoffs. I really hope, even if they lose, that they don't get rid of Mike Daniel, because he showed early in the season, okay, they can get the job done offensively. And now I will also say this, I almost didn't pick the Dolphins because I don't feel great in Skylar Thompson starting right now. But I'm going to test this split division theory out. I'm going to do some more research on it because it might help me next year. But right now I'm going to go with that, and I really think this could be an upset, though. I really like Matthew's pick in this game. But for the next ones, Our first, I think this is the first one where we've kind of had it significantly split, where we haven't had either everyone on the same page or just one person going the other side. But here we have our most split game so far. We have this both teams eliminated from playoff contention. Panthers have been really good at running the ball recently, and so that might be effective. I feel like the Saints, though, Andy Dalton has also been playing good. But we have Matthew and Andrew going on the side of the upset here, which is very interesting. I think that this could happen. Sam Darnold has been playing well. But I know this also comes into it, but I think like the Saints, don't have any draft capital to play for as it's in the hands of the Eagles. So I think they have more reason to win. And they were just eliminated last week. I think they've been performing well. I'm going to go that direction with the favorite, but this one also could go either way. Both have been improving as of late. Browns and Steelers, we have another lone wolf pick here. We have Max going the direction of the Browns. I think this is one where just the Steelers have been playing well recently. I've picked them a few weeks in a row, and they've really been performing well. Like they have been keeping it going, and so I think they're going to try to get in the playoffs. I wouldn't rule them out right now. I believe actually, I think my belief is the Bills will beat the Patriots, but if the Jets beat the Dolphins and the Bills beat the Patriots, Steelers I believe are in. So I think they could be in the playoffs. And they're also, for Coach Tomlin, they're going to want to keep his record above 500 every year as coach. So I'm going to go that direction for that reason. I think they just have more to play for in this one. But definitely this underdog here. Max going with the Browns. That, I believe, is his second so far. That's his second lone pick. So he has a potential to jump up the standings there when you make a pick like that. And this is where I'm starting to get a little risky. I'm going to make a pick here. I'm going to go with the Giants. This almost makes no sense. This is straight up a feeling game. I'm going to be completely honest there. There's no on paper mathematical sense on why I'm doing this, but I just have a feeling here. I think that the Giants, it looks like, might rest starters, but I think that the Eagles, even if they play some, might actually start a little rusty. I also am going to go with the split division theory. I have a feeling here. I think that, yeah, you might see that, okay, the Giants are going to be the 6th seed, but like, even if they bench it, I think Tyrod might be healthy. And so if they go with Tyrod, I think that he can still get a win. I would imagine that the Eagles would maybe only play their starters for the first half, and maybe that allows a second half comeback. I'm going to go with the Giants. I think they might want to get some momentum going. I feel like that's the type of guy that Dabble would be here. So I'm going to go with the Giants. I think this is total feeling. It makes a ton of sense to go with the Eagles here. They've been dominant this season, but this is just a gut feeling game. Everyone else here is going with the Eagles, but I'm going to take this upset as one of mine, and I'm going to go back to back with my 2 this week. Significant upsets. Another one, feeling, split division theory. I'll tell you why too. People think that putting in Sam Howell is just a punt decision. Like, okay, we're giving up. Let's see what the young guys got. I think Sam Howell is a legitimately potentially good quarterback. I think he might give the best offensive performance, even without their running backs. Jarrett Patterson is a valid running back, people. He can run the ball as well. I'm going to go with Sam Howell. I think Ron Rivera will have more to play for. I know the 1 seed, I believe, might still be in play for the Cowboys. The division might be. But I'm going to go with the Commanders just for a feeling game here. I'm going to go with Ron Rivera in there. But once again, makes a lot of sense to go with the Cowboys. They've been performing great this year. But those are my 2 kind of swings at the board. I got to take some chances. Now, this next game is another split one. I'm taking another underdog, but this time I have companion Matthew going with me there. The Broncos have actually they played well last week. They played this team to overtime the first time they showed up. They also played well against the Chiefs a few weeks ago when they played well earlier in the year. I think the Broncos are actually riding momentum. Now, I loved the Chargers in preseason. I had them making a significant step up, and I do think they, in the playoffs, would be a more dangerous team than this. I think that they will be. But for this last week, I think the Broncos might pull off a win here. That's just my take. I think they might put up a good performance offensively, but come playoff time, I do think the Chargers will be dangerous. Herbert in that offense is performing very, very well. But me and Matthew going with the direction of the Broncos here. Now, Rams Seahawks is going to be very quick. all, all, all Seahawks. The Rams, Baker has been performing pretty well, but we're all going with the Seahawks here. They need this win to stay in the playoffs. And so I think that they're going to put up a good performance. And they haven't maybe been performing as well as of late, but they've still, picked up some wins. So I think they get that, and that's kind of a cut and dry. And this one was going to be, but Max goes with the upset pick of the Cardinals. This is quite a call. This could potentially happen. I think that they're going with David Blau at quarterback. That doesn't give me as much confidence, but I can't doubt Brock Purdy right now. I think they've been playing really, really well. They are just moving the ball. They're even going to get, I think, Elijah Mitchell back recently, so their run game's going to be strong also. But in addition to McCaffrey, but we're mostly going that Niners direction there. I think they just will. I think they're going to put up a good performance. Now, the Cardinals kept it close against the Falcons last week, but I'm going to go with the Niners there. Most of us are, but Max, once again, that's his, I believe he took 3. So if those games win, he's getting a leg up on everybody else this week. And to close it out, another split game. We got Packers-Lions. Most of us going with the Packers here. Here's the thing. There's 2 parts of me. I almost picked the Lions here. I think the Lions, even if they get ruled out of the playoffs, will be dangerous. This will be very, very close. This game will be incredibly close. And there's 2 parts of me. In one part, the feeling part of me actually says go Lions. I think they've been performing really, really well recently. They're going to have almost more motivation, I'd actually say. But once again, as a Vikings fan, Aaron Rodgers is a really good quarterback, and I'm not going to doubt him right now. I'm happy. It got me a few times, but I never gave up on the Packers this season. I still kept picking them, and eventually they kind of just swung it back around. But as a Vikings fan, until he literally leaves the team or isn't starting for that team, I don't think I can really pick against him in a lot of situations. So I'm going to go with the Packers there. They just need the win, and they're in the playoffs. A lot of us thinking the same thing, but we'll see how that happens. So thank you very much for watching this week's edition. This is the last one of this year. I will be making playoff picks, so don't be worried. That will be on the way. A lot of new content will be coming out, but this is how we're going to start the year with a big week of, we thankful to have 5 guest pickers back this week, and we'll see how those standings end up at the end of the year. I am going to do what the NFL is doing also. I'm going to go by when we rank them winning percentage, because some people picked less games than others based on just when games were played and what ones counted, and so with that being said, we'll see how it goes. I'll give an update next week on probably the final standings of what that is. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.